are an awful lot. Nuts on the ground. When I bought this place 18 years ago, this was all mud and rock. It had been overgrazed by cows for the most part for the last probably 2 centuries. These are all walnut trees over here. Here's the big pit dug by the previous landowner as a pond, which he said drained out immediately when he filled it. As you can see right now, it's just another pond. Oh, black raspberries. Very good. It has been so wet. This is the first time I have ever seen this particular place with standing water in it. I don't think it's doing any harm. I'll probably have to do something about mosquito larvae. The other pond has enough turtles in it that I'm pretty sure it's eating them as fast as they can breed. But this wasn't even here, what, 2 weeks ago? I'll check on it in a week, and if it's still there, I'll have to do something about it. Don't know, maybe aerate it and put in some fish? Yeah, it'll dry out soon enough. I'd like to take out all this autumn olive. It's an invasive plant. Has a berry. It's a little tart, a little sweet. Birds love it, obviously. And something's getting it. Don't know what killed it. This one's obviously dying. And the spiders are doing well this year. Do something about all this wild rose, or whatever it is. Fence. All these what looks like wild grapevines, yet I've never seen a grape around here. Smelled them though. I think they actually bloom way up in the trees. Some old vines here that are as thick as my wrist. Do want to come through here with a grave release or something similar. Clear out the fence line at least so I can walk the fence perimeter without having to traipse through poison ivy and huge rose bushes. Guess that's not poison ivy. I see the 3 leaves. They don't appear to be too shiny. I don't see red stems. Not gonna take the chance though. As it is, I'm pretty much wading through the stuff. It's almost everywhere I look. That's new. Huh. Half dead. Yep, half dead walnut tree. Normally I would wash the berries, but it just rained, so they have already come pre-washed. Looks like the remains of some wild garlic. Yep. Oh yeah, definitely. I've actually tried replanting this several locations. But not here. Don't know where this one came from. Oop, somebody was sleeping here. Looks like the neighbor is keeping the cows out of his field, which I don't see any. He used to run the cattle on this property, but he decided a few years ago when he was getting that field ready to be sold and turned into housing to put the fence up and remove the gates. Kind of wish he'd talked to me first, and in the end I haven't talked to him either, so guess it all works out. Looks like some kind of amaranth flowering. Let's see, this produces an edible seed. Oh yeah, look at that pollen. Leave that alone. You want to take out all these, as I said, all the olives here. Or autumn olive or thorny olive. Have both kinds actually. Oh, and here we have a milkweed in full bloom. And there's a honeybee, there's a bumblebee. We'll leave them alone. Pretty little things. This whole area is filled with them. I'm walking carefully, actually trying to avoid stepping on any. Alright. White flowers, yes, but not giant wrong-shaped leaf. It is not giant hogweed, which is one of the things I'm on the watch out for. They reported finding some in my county a few days ago. If I see even the trace of one, I am going to panic, call the government extension office, and see what can be done about that. That's pretty. Some sort of mint. Definitely has some kind of background mint to it, but not very strong. There's thistle, also not giant hogweed. I like thistles. Actually trying to grow artichokes. Tried every year for the last 5 or 6 years to grow it. Does not want to grow. Don't know if it's the clay, some native pest, or just the wrong climate. Only seems to get about 5-6 inches tall and then dies. Or it could just be a really bad gardener. You can see the wild garlic is actually starting to sprout from the head. I'll leave that alone. Gotta watch where I step around here. There are several plants I don't want to go away. I would not like to step on. Oh, whew. It looks like the cactus is fruited, and I missed it. Or it just flowered and then dropped off. I guess. Oh yeah, I guess it did just flower. So some of them have already flowered and dropped off. Yeah, that's just a flower, not an actual fruit. The fruit is what's underneath it, I guess. Looks like I'll have quite a few of those if they actually got pollinated. There are a lot of beekeepers around here, including a professional guy just down the road, across the street. Oh, there we go, there's one of the flowers. And again, more of those 3-leaved plants, but I don't see red stems. Problem being, of course, I'm colorblind. So if anybody sees red stems on these things, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to just avoid it. This whole area, oops, nope, I managed to avoid stepping on it. Whole area has that cactus in it, and I would like to give it some more light and air. Keep it from being overrun by whatever that is. So I can just put on some gloves, pull it out, and then shower. The remains of a hunting blind. I'll have to ask the neighbor to remove that. He's allowed to hunt on the property, but well, that's not much use anymore. It's just trash. Ooh. Got some nice fiberglass poles, though. I might just tell him I'll take care of it. He'll let me keep the poles, and we'll see. All these are some sort of lily. Ah, oops. Rocks are slippery. The lilies are probably going to bloom in about usually around mid to late July. Previous owners called this place Bones of the Earth Farm. It is riddled with ridges of green basalt. I thought it was limestone because it is active when you hit it with some acid. But according to a rock cutter friend who took some samples, you could not touch it with the standard chisels. So I did some more research and found out, well, yes, there is limestone around here. It is capped and folded in with that basalt. Don't know what that flower is called, but in a few weeks it'll be about 6 foot tall, covered in those yellow flowers. Maybe earlier this year. It's been incredibly wet. Nice juniper. I transplant that to the yard. That's where I buried one of my cats when she died. Pile up half a ton of rocks, not much is going to get at it. Goose? Not sure what that is. There's the new neighbor. Again, haven't really dealt much with him or her. House came in, what was that? 5 years ago. Found out about it when one morning I felt the ground move under my feet. And a loud series of bangs. Apparently they were blowing up some of that ridged basalt stuff for the basement. One of the aforementioned gates. They just threw it back here. They replaced that fence. Can't blame him. He wanted to make it clear that was a property that could be separated off and sold. And the housing market collapsed and deal fell through. The remains of a big old oak. You can see the stump still standing there. Just died of old age, I think, or because somebody nailed in a deer stand. Not mine, it's on the other side of the property line. You can see the limestone wall there. Old property boundary. Some kind of fungus. Have to see if I can identify it. There are a bunch of walnuts. They're actually growing out of an old stone pile from back when this was farmed. I bought this place, it too was just a bare rock, a heap of rock. You can see something lives in there now. Lots of trampling. Lamb's ear, datura. Don't know. I guess just more of that, whatever it is. Another rock pile. Now that's Some of this is limestone, the big chunks with the holes in it. The smaller rocks there apparently are all basalt. Ooh, chuckle. That tree is dead. Usually leave dead trees standing unless they're going to hit something when they fall. Dead trees like that provide habitat for bugs, birds that eat them. Won't walk underneath it though. That's just asking for trouble. These are all blackberries. Since they're a thornless variety, I think they're actually, if not actually just a offshoot, certainly got its genes polluted by the thornless blackberries I planted about a decade ago back at the house. So I don't remember them not having thorns before this. See if I can find the fence line again. Another dead widowmaker. And there's the property line. See the fence there. I really should put that back up. Neighbor doesn't really care. And you can see there's another hunting stand. And there's the corner. We've hit impenetrable jungle. I have to turn back. Didn't bring my machete with me. That was rotten.